Thank you to everyone that's tuning back into another newly listed on the CSE clip. I'm Anil Mall representing the CSE, and today I'm talking to Jacob Verbaas. Jacob is the CEO of Miata Metals Corp, listed on the CSE late July. Jacob, thank you so much for your time today. I hope you're doing well.
Doing great. Thanks for having me, Anil.
Excellent. Yeah, it's always a pleasure to see and talk to you. Jacob, let's jump right into this. This is a new company, Miata Metals. Tell us a little bit about the vision for this project and company.
Sure. So Miata owns the Cabin Lake, or we have the Cabin Lake project under option. This is a silver lead zinc project in the Blackwater region of BC. It's been explored for several decades, seeing a couple of rounds of drilling with pretty exciting results, multi% zinc and lead and over a kilogram of silver in historical grab samples, I should say. So a lot of smoke there. And what we're looking for after having done substantial work to get modern geophysics, etc., last year, is of course to build on that and develop new targets and hopefully find where all the silver is coming from.
Jacob, for our viewers that might not be familiar with the region, I know you mentioned that the project Cabin Lake, it's in central BC. What is the significance of having a project in the exploration stages in this area? Obviously, is there infrastructure? Talk to us a little bit about the region.
Yeah, for sure. So there are some pretty interesting projects nearby that the region is probably better known for. We're close to Vanderhoof, by the way, road accessible. There are forestry roads leading right into the project, which is, it's great. It's not a very high claim in terms of elevation, so we can work fairly late into the fall. The region is known for some very large molybdenum mines, such as the Endako mine, as well as the Blackwater gold and silver mine, which I believe is 150 kilometers away or so. It's in the same intrusive complex, and this region has in most places it has a fair bit of till cover, which means it just hasn't been explored to the same extent as the more mountainous areas of BC, where you can walk around and see the rocks and find sulfide occurrences a little more easily. It was covered with by the government TREC program, which was a geological mapping and geological data acquisition program by the government, and that of course has yielded all sorts of new data that explorers like us can use to try to find good targets and interpret the region in more detail.
Do you remember you mentioned earlier that there are other projects in the region? Jacob, what makes you and your team stand out, and your project obviously stand out from some of the peers that are in the same region?
Look, I don't want to talk myself up as when comparing myself to my neighbors, because I wish them all the success that it's hard to come by in this industry. Yeah. I think what we have going for us is we've worked in BC a lot. I worked with a pretty good group of consultants that really goes very deep into these targets and really tries to reinterpret and try to find things that others have overlooked. We tend to be fairly rigorous in our approach, and so one interesting thing we found is that our QP that went on the claim, he's been on a lot of drill projects, and he wrote 43-101 for us. He went to where the old cut shack would have been, looked at the edge of the lake, and he thought, you know what, I'm gonna have a quick check to see if there's not something in that lake that shouldn't be there. And lo and behold, there was uncut core in the lake, which was mineralized. And so it looks like old the explorers that have gone before us maybe didn't have quite the oversight on the drill core cutter that there should have been, because rather than cutting the core and sending it off to the lab, apparently, a lot of pieces ended up not being cut and went into a lake. And it looks like some mineralized intercepts may have been missed. So that's one of those things where we now know that drill data, it can't all be trusted just because not all the intervals that should have been sampled were sampled. That's one of those things where we try to look for, things that other explorers, again, may have missed and build on those things. And we continue to use new tools that may not have been used before, such as last year, our gradient, the gradient magnetic survey that we flew, very high detail mag data we now have over the entire project that allows us to just refine the targets and look at those again.
I was just about to say, because, technology, as you mentioned earlier, has come a long way since those early days. And so I'm sure that you have a lot more tools at your disposal, I should say, to then further look into the ground and decide where the right sort of work should be making.
Yeah, for sure. That's one, really the avenue that we will be exploring next is to use, some tools are old, but the processing power has increased. Such as VLF, and other tools are new and can be used at much higher resolution because of that, like IP. Those are the tools that we'll be using next on this claim, as well as more traditional boots on the ground prospecting and mapping and sampling.
Got it. I want to talk a little bit about your background for those that might not know. Talk to us a little bit about how you got into this space and what your background is.
Sure, yeah. So as you may have guessed, I am a geologist by trade. I've been involved with public companies in Canada since 2017. I did a PhD before that, which was on a set of IOCG occurrences, so polymetallic occurrences in the Yukon. I've worked across Canada by now, and a fair bit in Quebec, but mostly in Western Canada, BC and Yukon. We, saw the opportunity to option the Cabin Lake project, really liked the target, and decided to bring Miata public as a result of that and all the data that we've collected over the last year.
Jacob, I know you spoke a little bit about your QP for the on the team. Are there any other notable key team members that you want to talk to us about that you brought on board to make sure this succeeds?
Sure. Yeah. We have a small team for now, but small teams are often what nimble startup companies need. One of those well is Danny Matthews, one of our directors. He was a director on Kavu as well, which a company I was the CEO of from 2021 to 2020 to 2022 after it was merged with Alpha Copper. We also have James Reed as director. He used to be an analyst with Haywood, has a large network as a result of him being an analyst and a broker there later. And Matt Lee is our CFO, who's got a lot of experience with public companies, accounting, etc. So yeah, we have a small team, and I think a nimble team that's excited to get going.
Perfect. So, Jacob, as we go into fall of 2023, what are some of the milestones our viewers can look out for?
We'll be getting ready to explore the Cabin Lake plate and, take those steps to further prove up the targets over the next weeks and months. And we'll certainly be updating the market through the traditional news release channels, etc.
Speaking of news releases, where can our viewers go? Because we always want to encourage our viewers to go do their due diligence. Where can they go to not only read a little bit more about the Cabin Lake project, but also read up on your team, its background, and of course, sign up for upcoming news?
Currently, really, the channel would be through the CSE itself, and check the public filings. That's where our news goes. And in the future, when we do bring some more materials out, we will certainly update our shareholders through a news release and that as well.
Perfect. So for now, everybody watching, you can head to the CSE website, search up Miata Metals Corp, and all of the information that you need is on there. I would encourage you to take a look. And of course, if you have questions, reach out to Jacob and his team directly. Jacob, I really appreciate you taking the time to join us today and talk a little bit about Miata Metals and its upcoming focus. We wish you and your team nothing but success as you move forward. And of course, we look forward to having you on again towards the end of the year and giving us another update on the company.
It would be my pleasure, Anil. Thank you.
Thank you again. To everybody watching, you've been listening to Jacob Verbaas. He is the CEO of Miata Metals Corp, trades on the CSE under the symbol MMET. Thanks again, Jacob.